welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Michael, Kevin Jank.
Hey, I'm here. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's quite the streak.
Yep.
Now, this week it was my choice, and if you recall, I forgot to pick a book, and then we discussed it with our buddy Bob, and we figured out, hey, we'll do Damage Control from 1989, issue 1, Damage Control. This book is about a faction of female wrestlers led by Bailey with Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Wait, that's not it?
No, that probably would have been a better book, but no. Not a lot of foxy ladies in this one.
There's a couple. There's one at least.
She-Hulk.
Yeah. Oh, no.
There's
Secretary.
that blonde cafoots.
Like this secretary was my kind of thing. All right, but anyway, we're losing track here. Getting out of line here right away, Jack. We got to focus. Damage Control, 1989. Tell the kids what it's about. Like, sum it up in one sentence for everybody.
Damage Control is a company that cleans up after superheroes. When they wreck the city, they come in and fix things up.
That's exactly what it is. You nailed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice and succinct.
It was created by Dwayne McDuffie and Ernie Colon, and they are the creative team behind this here issue. And McDuffie pitched it as a sitcom within the Marvel Universe.
It definitely had that tone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
humor,
it's not quite up to Cheers, quality. But...
Exactly. You still watching Cheers?
Yeah, I actually took a break and then I got back into it, so now I'm in season 3.
Oh, yeah, Frasier shows up in season 3. Yeah. All right.
So that show.
Yeah, that other show. Damage Control first appeared in Marvel Age Annual Issue 4 from 1988, and it was just a 5-page little story in there. I did not read that. I'm sure you went back and read that, right?
Oh, sure. I'm a sucker for finality. Gotta have everything.
So then they next appeared in a 7-page story in Marvel Comics Presents Issue 19, 1989.
Very nice. Probably around the Cyclops era.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you familiar with Marvel Comics Presents? Because we haven't done one on this show yet.
Yeah. That's on my long list of things we could do one day.
Yeah, it was like a book where there'd be like at least 2, sometimes more than 2.
I'd say usually 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember. But the lead story would always be someone like Wolverine or Colossus or Cyclops, like you said.
Yeah.
And then they'd fill it in with backstories of lesser known characters usually.
Yep. But it was the comic that brought us the Weapon X storyline.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. The Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X storyline was all in Marvel Comics Presents.
Yeah, I probably got out of comics. I was buying Marvel Comics Presents when it came out, so I probably got out right around maybe issue 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I missed the Weapon X stuff. But anyway.
And then eventually I feel like by the 90s, I think it was just Wolverine and Ghost Rider. Maybe something else. Like it was mostly those 2.
Anything that they put Wolverine in.
Yeah.
Just shove him in there. So then Damage Control got their own 4-issue limited series from May to August of 1989, and that's what we're reading here today, issue 1 of that. Mm-hmm. Then they got a second 4-issue series from December of 89 until February 1990, with 2 issues published in December.
I guess that one kind of ties into the aftermath of that Acts of Vengeance crossover that we did in Power Pack.
Yeah, the Power Pack. And Ernie Colon was the artist of that Power Pack.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of Ernie Colon lately.
It's crazy all of a sudden. McDuffie and Colon did both of the first 2 limited series. Then Damage Control got a third 4-issue limited series from June to September of 1991. And this time it was by McDuffie and Kyle Baker. How about that? And
he's still going strong with it. Good for him.
So wait, who's still going strong with?
McDuffie.
Oh yeah, at this point, yeah, he's passed away now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at this point, he was going strong with it. They also brought it back then later on. I think there's like a 3-issue something World War Hulk Aftermath Damage Control was a book.
I actually do have those issues. Yeah, I think I did read it. Don't remember being a big fan of it, but I do remember reading it.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
I have them somewhere in my apartment.
But Damage Control has also leapt onto the silver screen and the small screen. Their first appearance was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3. I don't remember that at all.
I think that was right around when I was getting out of that show. I may have seen that one, I may not have, but yeah, I know you watched all of them, so you should.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember that at all, though. But they've also been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You mentioned they were in Homecoming last week.
Yeah, I think Bob mentioned that. Yeah, that they were in.
Oh, okay.
They're definitely. I feel like they've come up a couple of times in those Spider-Man movies, but I've only watched each of them once, so it's hard to remember.
And they've also appeared in She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel, those Hulu shows, which I have not watched.
Yeah.
So.
No need.
But apparently in Homecoming, the one lady was played by Tyne Daly.
Oh boy. Oh, Miss Hope. I can see that. I'm assuming
also of Columbo fame.
Yeah, that's right.
An episode of Columbo.
Oh, what a good episode that was.
You don't get crazy. All right.
Twist in that one.
And the lady who she played was a character named Anne Marie Hogue. Hoag. I was trying to think Hogarth. I was trying to think of the lady that was in Jessica Jones on TV, the attorney, the Carrie Ann Moss. That was Hogarth. All right, that's
sure was.
So this is Anne Marie Hogue, and this lady, she founded the company of Damage Control, and then its two chief investors, though, I guess when she went public with it, they bought up all the stock. Tony Stark and Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, that's strange bedfellows right there.
A little bit.
Yeah. I can't imagine, why was Tony Stark I need somebody else to go in on this with me. Let me get the kingpin.
well, see, I don't think he knew, maybe. And then when he found out, Stark eventually sold his shares because he didn't want to work with Fisk. So maybe there's some back deal corporation thing going on or something. But anyway, and then Fisk eventually sold his shares because he had no faith in company's leadership because I guess Anne Marie Hogue, she appointed Robin Chapel, the blonde lady who we will be seeing in this issue, as lead of the company. And Fisk didn't like that, I guess. So he sold his shares. And Anne Marie Hogue, she was buddies with Nick Fury. So she said, hey, Nick Fury, how about if S.H.I.E.L.D. gets in on this action? So she got a loan from S.H.I.E.L.D. to buy back her company. So technically, S.H.I.E.L.D. is owners of this.
I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. aren't they a branch of the government? So that's just government money at that point. Should S.H.I.E.L.D. be giving out cash to businesses?
I have no idea. I'm just reading on Wikipedia. And I guess this stuff all happened after what we're reading here today. This happened years later, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
that raises a lot of questions. Where does S.H.I.E.L.D. get all their money then? If it's not from the government, how are they making money? Are they just shaking down people?
Pretty much, yeah. So the characters were
spying on them and then blackmailing them.
The characters we're dealing with in this here issue, we mentioned Robin Chapel. She's the blonde lady who she was up for the big job at Damage Control. She was going to be the new leader. But then a fella named John Porter actually gets the job. And so there's some conflict there between Robin and John at the start.
I guess I was looking up this John Porter apparently had started his own Damage Control Inc.-esque company that was trying to muscle in on their territory and was actually posing kind of a threat. So I guess that's why they hired him, was to bring him into the fold. So he
okay.
wouldn't be competing against them.
Then there's a fella named Lenny Ballinger. He's an older fella. He's their lead foreman.
He's like a white version of the Ed. Always chomping on a cigar.
They draw him. He looks like James Coburn, an old actor, or Lee Marvin. Kind of a combination of those two guys.
As he brings up, I believe.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's a file at the end.
I think it was in the file. And then there's a fellow named Gene Strasser, who's kind of like their tech guy. We see him in this issue wearing Stiltman stilts.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was something.
I like that.
Then there's a guy named Bart Rosum, and he's an intern. I think we see him briefly when he's talking to Thunderball about his lost wrecking ball.
Oh, yeah. He's the guy who was kind of He's kissing up to that Robin chick, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Robin because he does supposedly have a thing for the receptionist, Anne.
Oh, really?
I'm a big fan of the receptionist.
Oh, wait. No, I thought Robin is the good looking one.
Anne is the receptionist with the black hair. Robin's the short blonde hair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, the one who's on the phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
you like that. Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, Ernie Cologne. Yeah, he did a good job on her.
He did a much better job on the art in this one than he did in Power. No one had that creepy rictus grin or anything where like the kid did in that one.
Yeah, the art here is actually, I really enjoyed this art for the most part.
Yeah, this was solid.
So let's talk about those creators here real quick. Dwayne McDuffie, we've talked about it before on the show, but I don't know if we've ever done an actual issue that McDuffie has written.
Yeah, I was trying to look up what he's done, and it's not a whole lot. Like, he's one of those names that definitely you know from comics, but it's like, there's not a lot of big runs or even things that I would have read. So it's like, how do I know this name? I definitely do, but I don't know how.
He was born in Detroit, Michigan, so that's unfortunate. In 1962. Sadly, he passed away in 2011 at the age of 49.
Oh, no.
Due to complications from emergency heart surgery.
Oof.
49.
That's brutal.
Yes, not so good. He graduated with a BA in English from the University of Michigan. He got his start at Marvel as Bob Budiansky's assistant. Then he did Damage Control as his first prominent writing gig. He was doing some fill-in issues and stuff, but this was his first real deal. Then he eventually became an editor at Marvel. He also created Milestone Media in the early 1990s to bring more multiculturalism to comics. So how about that? As a comics writer, he worked on Justice League Unlimited, Firestorm, Fantastic Four, and Deathlock. And he created Static Shock.
Oh, did he?
Now, here's what I want to know. Do you know anything about Static Shock?
Yeah. Pretty much like a
Black Lightning?
Junior version of Black Lightning, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is it just a ripoff of Black Lightning?
Yep.
Because I love Black Lightning. And so I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's like the Kid Flash version of Black Lightning, essentially.
Are you really creating anything then?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but anyway. He also worked as a screenwriter for animated TV shows, including Static Shock, Teen Titans, Justice League, What's News Scooby-Doo, and Ben 10.
Oh.
I guess he did Ben 10 Alien Force or something, like they revamped Ben 10 and he was in charge of that.
Wow, that Ben 10 had quite the run.
He did have a run.
My time.
Yeah. My nephews were into Ben 10.
Oh, okay.
When they were little. So I remember
I couldn't even tell you the premise of that show, but I'm seeing like toys and shit around.
I believe, from recollections from what my nephews told me 15 years ago or so, this Ben, he had the powers of 10 different alien powers.
Oh,
so that's where
it's like Mandarin. Without the
without the rings, though, I think. But he had Ben 10. So I think that's pretty much the deal there. All right. So one other note about McDuffie. After his death, comedian Keegan Michael Key discovered that he was Dwayne McDuffie's biological half-brother by their father.
What are the odds of that?
I know. It could have been Key and Peele and McDuffie, maybe.
Yeah, he could have done some animated shorts on there.
That's weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So that's McDuffie. And the artist we mentioned, Ernie Cologne, we just did his backstory on that Power Pack issue. So
Yep.
Go back and listen to that. You'll love it.
See Power Pack issue number 55.
See Typhoid Mary seduce a child.
And then his father, and make them fight it out for her affection.
You'll love it. All right. Well, that's all I got on Damage Control. Do you know anything else about him you'd like to add?
No, not particularly.
Yeah. I wanted to read this. Me and Michael were thinking about picking this book a long time ago, and we never got around to it because it's just like it's one of those things you're like, I'd like to read to see what it is, but I really don't want to read it. You know, I'd like to experience it maybe, but I don't know if I really want.
Yeah. It turned out to be light lifting. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot there, but.
So when we look at the cover here, now in the corner box there, Jank, it's a nice Marvel corner box. We got Thor, Black Knight, and She-Hulk in the corner box.
Yeah, they're trying to sell this book.
Yeah.
You can't sell a bunch of people in suits. No one will buy it.
Then at the top it says, when the superheroes need help, they call damage control. And like the damage is all wonky and cracked.
It's all breaking apart, yeah.
But control
Damage
is smaller
foundation.
beneath it, but it's a solid foundation for it. Describe the rest of this cover for us, Jake.
So we've got like a defeated robot in the background. You can see just kind of his foot and his leg in frame. And Thor's flying off. There's a building that's been knocked over. And Spider-Man's in the foreground in the bottom right corner. Big shot of just the half of his face and, his one hand. And he's saying, it's all yours, guys. And we got John Porter and Robin and that Lenny guy. They're just standing there being like, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Robin's giving up. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I just want to correct you on one thing. I believe the correct pronunciation is ribbit, and you said robot. But I just want to make sure. Ribbit.
I apologize to all robots out there for using that slur.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty good cover, though. It's interesting, I think.
Yeah. I'd probably pick it up. I'd be like, ooh, Spider-Man, and then buy it.
Yeah, that's why I put Spider-Man and Thor on the cover. But again, this is when Thor was still kind of lame because Chris Hemsworth wasn't doing Thor yet. So.
Yeah, he was still doing all of these and thous and verilies, and nobody liked that.
All right, Jank, take us into the book.
So we start out, it's in Manhattan, and the characters that were pictured on the cover are fighting a giant robot, as we gathered from the cover. So it's got Spider-Man grabbed in his hand. Black Knight comes along, cuts the hand off, and he's like, well, this hand's going to grow back, so you better, take this robot out quick. And She-Hulk then decides she's going to get involved, try to distract this thing. It turns its hand into a giant hammer and tries to swing at her. And she says, for this, I went to law school.
What? But, I don't know, She-Hulk, is that really her thing to distract robots? Why don't you run over and, punch the robot?
Yeah. Just take its head off.
I guess she's a girl. She can only distract. Come on, She-Hulk, get in there.
Get all up in them guts.
Yeah, I think she would just grab its leg and try and throw it or something, Let's go.
Yeah.
She-Hulk. Not so much.
But then the robot kind of knocks Thor out of the way as Thor's flying at its head, and he just kind of backhands him into, I guess, the Chrysler building, or...
Yeah, it almost looked a little like Big Ben.
Yeah, it has a clock, yep.
But, yeah. Now, so when Thor hits this building, Jank, what happens to the building exactly?
A big chunk of it just kind of falls off. Although I guess it doesn't really, it just kind of just fall over.
It basically snaps in half. Snaps in half like a carrot. You want to break a carrot? I don't know if buildings would do that.
Yeah, that's not what I learned in Transformers 3. It was a much slower process that gave Shia LaBeouf tons of time to get out of there.
And also, really, thousands of people just got murdered, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. They should just
That's the one thing Damage Control
trying to do.
Apparently, Damage Control works in an abandoned city because there are no dead bodies anywhere after all these fights. Just
It's the same city that the Power Rangers live in. It must be Angel Grove, where just all these giant monsters and giant robots fighting all the time, and nobody ever gets hurt.
Because we do see a fella and is that his lady there on top of a building watching as the other building snaps in half. But so there are humans nearby. But anyway,
they're making out up there real quick.
Yeah, Thor got swatted away. Now, I was a little confused by this. Not this part, but later on. But Spider-Man, this robot's got a mouth. He kind of looks like a horse. And Spider-Man webs his way inside the robot's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And he finds a control room inside. And he shuts down the robot. All right?
Yeah.
So you think, oh, all right, that's good. And so the robot's done. Now we cut. And now we cut to John Porter arriving for his first day at work on Damage Control. Right?
Yeah. He's a little bit late because there was a giant, piece of a building in the way.
Yeah.
So.
And thousands of dead bodies.
Cabby, just drive over those corpses.
But again, nice shot by Cologne there, the city and the firemen's and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right.
Apparently his taxi driver is Gallagher, it looks like.
Yeah. It did look a little like him, yes. So Cologne shows up, or not Cologne, Ernie Cologne's the artist. John Porter shows up to work, and he's in his thoughts. He's like, it's my first day of work. And he goes into damage control, and there's a leggy brunette there, Foxy Burnett, talking on the phone. That's Ann, the receptionist. Now, I was a little confused. Dwayne McDuffie, why you would name Ann, the receptionist, Ann, when the lady that runs the company is also named Anne Marie Hogue?
Yeah, that's a problem.
How did that not register on anybody involved in this project? That you can't have two Anns.
There's got to be other names. Yep. Just pick anything.
There's 3 women in the cast. You don't give 2 of them the same name. What are we doing?
Just listen to the song 52 Girls by the B-52s, and they'll give you tons of choices you could use for girl names.
Well, wait. Ann's talking on the phone to her friend Bridget. That would have been a good name for her. Bridget, the receptionist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go with Ann. Ann all the time. The receptionist, she's just chatting it up on the phone with her buddy there, and she's talking about this fella, I guess, who likes her, or she likes him, and John Porter's trying to get her attention, and she's like, whatever. I really love the shot of her leaning in the chair in the next page, the first panel, with her legs up. That's Ernie Cologne getting the job done there.
Yep. He's earning his this time.
So then John Porter, he's still walking around there. Oh, look, she has a signed photo of Reed Richards on her desk. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, how about that? And look at John Porter, Ernie Cologne, the way he drew him. It almost looks like Rick Leonardi a little bit. His face
I could
there.
definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
It does. All right, so then Jank, he goes in and he finds our old buddy Thunderball from the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, that's right. Who he thinks is called Wrecking Ball. And he's like,
everybody
I get
does
that a lot.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
That would make more sense than Thunderball.
Yeah. But what's going on with Thunderball there?
So Thunderball is here to go through the lost and found, apparently. Somebody told him that damage control could help him out because he lost his famous wrecking ball, which the whole thing didn't really make sense. I mean, it's a funny little aside here, but apparently he was, robbing a bank and he, was fending off some cops and he ended up throwing the wrecking ball at the cops, but he's a little out of practice. So he threw it way too far and just, threw it right into a building. So he's looking for the lost and found so he can get his wrecking ball back. But I mean, you were committing a crime. Like, why is wrecking control or damage control just going to give you that back, like your weapon back? That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Don't quite get that.
So his wrecking ball doesn't come back to him? Wasn't it an enchanted thing? It didn't. I don't know enough about him. But I guess
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe you're not supposed to really throw it so much as you kind of swing it.
Swing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like a Mjolnir thing because they got all their powers from Loki, And,
yeah, like I don't remember the one guy with the crowbar being able to throw it.
That's true. Yeah. It's a wrecking ball. It's not a boomerang.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right.
That's right.
So, I don't know why they would be helping a criminal get his weapon back, but that's what they're doing. Yeah. So that's
like, okay, it's yours, I guess.
So now we see Anne Marie Hogue, welcoming, it's Tyne Daly, welcoming John Porter to damage control.
That's actually really good casting. They did a good job.
Yeah. And he goes in to meet Robin Chappell, and that's when Anne Marie Hogue says, "Hey, by the way, she was up for your job." So yeah, she's kind of like cold to him, and not too happy. This is
where this is where the book becomes a mystery. I know you love a good mystery, but why the hell is he called G-Pay?
Yeah. I didn't understand.
John Porter. I don't understand where you get the nickname G-Pay.
Yeah,
I was like, is this supposed to be a joke? I don't understand.
I forgot all about that. But yes, I read that twice just to make sure. G-Pay. Yeah. Not JPay or JPO.
JP. No. GPay. Don't understand this at all.
And no one asks him about it either, because that's my first question. If someone named John Porter says my nickname is GPay, why? That's question number one.
Yep. So I hope that gets addressed in one of these three Dwayne McDuffie Damage Control Limited series.
My nickname is GPay.
I need to know now.
Also, when you meet someone for the first time, is that really what you want to do? Is say, oh, by the way, my nickname's GPay. Like, I'm just meeting you. Calm down. I don't need to know your nickname. Yeah,
we're not friends yet. How about I memorize your actual name first before we get to the shorthand?
Also, it's like, is someone else, he probably has a nickname that is much worse, and he tries to, like, get ahead of it by saying, no, my name's GPay. No. People give you nicknames. Yeah. People give you nicknames. You don't get them to choose your own, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You're in a new environment now, John Porter. New coworkers, new family. They get to choose your nickname.
New nickname. Yep.
GPay. Anyway, Robin takes him to meet their new client, and there's this fella. He's all sad, and they say, "Why are you so sad, there, buddy?" And he takes him up to the top of the roof there, and they look out over the city. And she says, "There's why he's so sad." And that giant robot has collapsed, and it really looks big here, huh?
Yeah.
Massive. It's a great picture, though, by Ernie Cohen. And he's leaning up against the Twin Towers.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
This did not age well.
No, it did not. Yeah, he crunched the Twin Towers there.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And I'll keep quiet on that. All right, but anyway, so Spider-Man, he's trapped in the robot's head.
Yep.
Why?
Right, he's in the control room. There's got to be a control for open the mouth.
He also got in the mouth. Like
when he shut it down, it just went limp or whatever and closed its jaw, I guess. But there's got to be a button for that.
Kind of looks like there's still an opening there,
Yeah, it sure does.
And he's Spider-Man. He should be able to climb.
He's very flexible. He can climb in a bunch of vents and stuff like in that game. Then he should be able to manage this.
Yeah, Jank is playing the new Spider-Man game on.
Yeah.
What platform? Well, not new. You're playing the old one. It's new to you. Right?
Yeah, it's several years old now, but yeah, to me it's brand new.
So yeah, two mysteries in this book: GPay and why Spider-Man's still stuck in the head.
He was so smart when he managed to stop this thing, but now he lost all his smarts.
Can't Black Panther, he cuts a hole in it, but even though the robot shut down, as soon as he cuts it, it just heals itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still think something could have been done there. Like, all right, Spider-Man, let's time it. I'm going to cut, and you hit, just as I cut. One of them deals.
It can't heal itself that quickly.
So then Thor says, hey, you know what? I'm going to hit it with Mjolnir. That'll do it, Nope. Just hit it like a big old gong.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, I'm going to use my hammer here to hit it with a lightning bolt. I'm going to hit this metal robot with a lightning bolt. And she holds like, that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Let's not do that.
Spider-Man's nearly killed multiple times throughout this issue.
And then Dr. Druid shows up.
Yeah, everyone's favorite Avenger.
And like at the bottom of one page, he has some dialogue screaming from off panel. He says, Avengers, the mental powers of Dr. Druid have finally uncovered the robot's secret. I like that he has to talk like that to his friends and colleagues. The mental powers of Dr. Druid.
My friends call me Dr. Druid. We're not your friends. We're not going to call you that.
We're going to call you GPay. And then we cut to the next page in the first panel. There's Dr. Druid. I can't even really make him out. He's just a figure in a ship. Yeah. And he's yelling, the terrible tinkerer rebuilt it for a man named Virgil Starkwell. He planned to use it to rob the auto show. You have a giant robot. And the one thing you want to do is rob the auto show? That's what you're going to do with your giant robot? that Spider-Man and the Avengers.
Maybe he was going after
the
those bikini girls that, model the cars.
John Rubin. Although, by the way, Jank, in your future, if you keep watching Cheers, right around season 7 or 8, there's an episode where Rebecca gets a job at the auto show. It's a very funny. It's a very funny episode. That's very good. Big fan of that episode.
They clearly lost the whole "we got to stick to the bar" every episode by then.
Well, she just has one scene at the auto show. Yeah, one scene.
Okay.
But anyway, so Dr. Druid says, "Hey, we got to go get the Tinkerer guy or whatever, or Virgil Starkwear or whoever." So Black Knight, She-Hulk, and Thor say, "All right, we're out. See you, Spider-Man." They just leave Spider-Man trapped in the Rivet's head.
Yeah. These Avengers are jerks.
I mean, they're not John Constantine level jerks. But they are pretty much jerks. Yeah, it's like,
maybe one of them could go, or Dr. Druid could probably handle this himself. He's like a normal guy.
Or here's an idea. Why don't you leave Dr. Druid to watch the Robot and Spider-Man? At least talk to Spider-Man a little bit, Keep him company or something.
Dr. Druid is a magician. Like, he could teleport Spider-Man out of there, theoretically, right? Like, have the good Avengers go after.
I don't think he could do that kind of stuff, could he?
I don't know. I thought he could.
I thought he was more like Fraser Crane. Like, that's all. He just helped people with their problems. I don't know if he was actually a teleporting kind of magician. I don't know. He may have been.
I don't know. I mean, I guess magic is one of those things you never know exactly what you can do. I feel like that's what makes it so frustrating to read. Is you're like, I don't know what this person can and can't do. I
was reading the Avengers for a bit during the Dr. Druid run, and I don't recall him ever doing anything like that. Although, again, I don't recall him doing much of anything. So
that I believe.
He just sat there in his little costume.
Just the worst.
He was pretty bad. All right, yeah, they all just leave. So Spider-Man's stuck in his ribbit, and he's stuck. So now we cut back to damage control, and we see the Foxy receptionist Anne talking on the phone again, and Thunderball got his wrecking ball back. And
just walks right out. And Anne apparently is talking to Jarvis, assuming it's the Avengers Jarvis.
Yeah.
I'm getting a good shot of her cleavage.
Yeah. Ernie Colon really put in extra work on Anne.
Yeah, he really did.
So then damage control, they're trying to figure out how do we get that robot up, That's a gigantic robot. So like, all right, we'll figure it out. Oh, there's another guy here. I don't even know what this guy's name is.
Yeah, this is the guy I thought you were talking about. This guy, clearly, he's sucking up to Robin. He's like, are we going to talk to this guy? And she's like, yeah, I guess so, but don't be too nice to him.
See, I think the guy I was talking about was the guy who, just the guy with the clipboard there, maybe.
Oh, okay, the Jimmy Olsen looking guy.
Yeah. So yeah, they have to say this guy's name, right? Oh, this is Albert Cleary. He's a comptroller.
Oh. Handling all the monies.
Albert Cleary. And so he seems like a real smart dude. He's got glasses and a Van Dyke beard. So that means he's smart. And this Robin, she's still giving John Porter the business,
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
we don't need tech support. We're just going to go in there and cut the pieces off and have the robot carted away. He's like, it's a big robot. There's got to be an easier way to do this. So I'm going to go see the tech support guy and have him figure it out.
Apparently it heals itself if you cut it. So she didn't know that though, Poor Robin.
Yeah.
So he goes down to tech support and we see our buddy Gene. He's in Stiltman's stilts. But can you explain Gene's fashion sense? What exactly is he wearing?
I don't know. It's like a Star Trek uniform. If you everyone in Star Trek was from Texas.
Yeah, it's like Midnight Cowboy meets Star Trek.
Yeah,
it's like a red Western shirt with a gold wacky tie, collar and cuffs, and black on the shoulders, and blue jeans with a white stripe down the side. Yeah, this guy's quite the dresser.
and he's got the stilts on, of course.
Yeah, and he's like an overweight fella, and he's bald, glasses, like a nerdy kind of guy.
Yeah.
And John Porter, I don't know if we've described him, but he's real handsome, smooth, like a James Bond looking guy.
Yep.
In a suit.
Nice suit, yep.
So he talks to Gene. He's like, hey, we got to figure out a way to, get that robot. We got to work it out. So now we cut to the construction site where they're trying to clean stuff up, and we meet Lenny Ballinger.
Yeah.
And, he's overseeing the work. And here one of his workers finds a glowing yellow orb. And Lenny says, don't touch it. And, but the guy touches it.
Not unlike what happened to Mr. Fish. Just found this weird element and picked it up. And
I like that you're finding a way to get Mr. Fish into every episode we do, whether it's LCS. It's pretty good.
He left a mark on me.
So what happens to the fella who touches the yellow orb? Does he turn into a fish?
Sadly, no. He appears to turn into a Hulk, basically.
Yeah. He's just a Hulk.
I think that would come up again somewhere, but I don't remember ever seeing this guy, that there's another Hulk out there. It seems kind of important.
Yeah, they do it, they played it for the comedy here. Like, he just finds, now he's a super, he's like, I gotta find my destiny elsewhere, and he jumps off. And then he's like, great. We lose more employees this way. And, cause I think there's a line in here somewhere. Oh yeah. When he's talking to Robin.
He's like, one of our employees has had an origin.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
So Robin's like, all right, we're going to come down there and get rid of that robot. So the damage control kids go down there, and they're on like scaffolding and a big platform looking in the robot's head. And Spider-Man's still in there. People just forgot about Spider-Man. And Gene is working on some contraption on the side of the robot, trying to do something.
Yeah.
Look at Gene in that scaffolding like a monkey. Just hanging in there.
Yeah, those legs are ridiculous. He's practically doing like a Jean-Claude Van Damme splits. The one leg's kind of bent.
Fucking Gene. He's, he could fall to his death at any second.
Yeah. It's pretty hands-on for a tech guy.
Hey, inside the robot's head, Spider-Man made a little, they call it?
Hammock.
Hammock.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was thinking back to Gilligan's Island. What is it? Yeah. So what happens now here, Jank?
So Robin's talking about like, we're going to use some anti-gravs and helicopters. We'll lift this thing up and get it to the warehouse. And, they're coming up with all these reasons. I don't know if that's going to work, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, maybe I should go apologize to John or good old G-Pay over there. I've been a real bitch to him all day. And, she starts to apologize, and then he fires up this device that he's got in his hands that starts letting out a beeping noise, and the robot starts moving. You see Spider-Man inside, and he's like, hey, what's going on? And the robot stands up off of the towers and starts morphing into a car, like a transformer.
A Volkswagen Beetle. But look at that big shot of the robot standing up over the city.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It kind of looks a lot like, I don't know if you remember, there was a Ghostbusters toy that was kind of like this, where like I think it was a beetle, like a yellow beetle, that you press the button and it would kind of pop up into something. It was like a green monster, like a ghost type thing. But it reminded me a lot of this, because it was kind of insect-like, kind of like this robot.
I am not aware of that.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good.
But yeah, they turn the robot into a Volkswagen Beetle, and then Robin Chapel says, oh no, you've killed Spider-Man.
Yeah. This is what I would expect.
Because again, this robot was larger than the Twin Towers. It's an enormous robot. So to get it down to the size of a Volkswagen, things are getting compressed.
Oh yeah. I don't see how you could possibly plan for, Spider-Man to be in a certain part of it when it's all done. Like, any part of this could be compressing.
But John Porter said, no, I didn't. He's in the trunk. She says, in the trunk? And Spider-Man hops out of the trunk.
Yep. Not too pleased at the damage control right now, because they almost killed him.
So he couldn't hop out of the robot's mouth. He could just hop out of the trunk. Why isn't the trunk locked down? I don't know.
That is weird. Yeah.
Oh, I guess we just watched the robot turn into a Volkswagen Beetle. Who fucking cares? All right. So yeah, he says, you think this is pretty funny, huh? Don't you? Don't complain, Spidey. You're lucky we don't quit while it was still ahead. Get it? Like it was just a robot's head. And then he says everybody's a comedian these days in his mind. He just thinks it. And then he swings away, and they say goodbye. And then we get Gene, and they're letting Gene drive the car. I don't know if I'd let that son of a bitch drive the car. It looks weird.
But he can do the splits, so they have to. He's now their leader. He's probably more man than anyone.
Yeah. So now we get a shot late at night in the office, and G-Pay is working on his computer, and in comes Robin Chapel.
Yeah.
Silhouette in the door frame there. And she says, "Hey, G-Pay, I want to have a truce." And he says, "Sounds good. How about a dinner?" And she says, "Hey, I said truce, not surrender." That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Lenny's looking
real Sam and Diane energy here.
Yeah, a little bit. And then he's looking out over the city there, and he sees Lenny sees that the one twin tower is they're both standing now, but the one is crooked. It's not set straight.
It is off kilter. There's no way you could ever go in that building again like that.
And he says, what the heck, close enough.
Oof.
What they say. And now that's the end of the issue. And then we get damage report. We get character entries, basically like the Marvel Universe character pages, they would do, for John Porter and Lenny.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything
that one on
interesting?
Anne the Secretary. I did learn one interesting thing, which I found quite strange. Both of them have their eyes listed as black.
Yeah.
That seems unusual. I don't know of anyone, let alone two people, that have eyes that are black.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought that through. They're just talking about the peoples. This is the peoples.
Yeah. So everyone's just black.
I also am a little concerned because this John Porter, he belongs to the YMCA in a historical book club. That's so weird.
That's where he got the name G-Pay.
Anything else interesting? Let's see. What is group affiliations? Oh, Lenny is in the We 4 bowling team.
They're very good.
What kind of name is We 4 for a bowling team?
Yeah, that's pretty weak.
Yeah.
When you're in the Marvel Universe, you name it like the Fantastic Four or something like that.
Yeah, you got to come up with something better than that. Thunderballs.
Yeah. That would be a good one.
Lenny's 5'10", 200 pounds.
Yeah. And then G-Pay was, I think, only 5 pounds less.
G-Pay
taller.
6'1", 195. G-Pay, he's still a big guy. Yeah.
Lenny's pretty stocky.
It's a construction worker muscles he has.
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. Damage control. What do you think?
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go right down the middle on this one and give it a 5 because in some ways I appreciated it, the fun tone it was going for. So every once in a while there was a joke that kind of worked. Probably more so that didn't. But I think the biggest drawback to me for this issue was this is kind of where you could see all the seeds of the current Marvel universe and what's wrong with it right here.
Well, this is like good. What is it then? I don't.
Where it's just like, let's make everything a joke and nothing has any stakes anymore because it's all just a goofy joke.
Okay, but I guess that's what they're going for here, though. Like,
Yeah, I understand that, but then it's like, okay. I mean, I would appreciate it if that guy turned into a Hulk came back at some point. It's part of the storyline. But I'm sure that was a one-off joke. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one-off.
So it's just kind of like, all right. That's kind of where the Marvel movies are at right now, and it's just you're jamming in too many jokes and not having enough storyline.
I kind of liked it. I mean, I liked I like Lenny, John Porter, whatever. Robin, she was likable. Big fan of Anne the Secretary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give her own book for sure. Just her on the phone the whole time. It'd be amazing.
When you're trying to do something like this, now again, let's go ahead and compare it to Cheers. So, you have Cheers, you had The Office, but the thing that drove Cheers was, you mentioned it, the relationship between Sam and Diane. That's what drove that show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so here, I don't know if I wanted the conflict to keep going, but it's over between Robin and John within 3 pages. They're friends, you know?
True.
So,
Yeah, there wasn't even like a reason that she just decided to warm up to him. She was just kind of like, oh, I guess I've been mean, so I should go apologize. Like there wasn't any kind of inciting incident or, oh, he did something nice for her or something like that.
I guess you don't want to keep her like too mean to him, because then people don't like Robin. You want to make her likable too, I guess. But I don't know if there's much. Who knows what they'll do in these subsequent issues, if there's going to be like I'm guessing there's a love there, or you know, he's going to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But again, the reason the Sam and Diane one worked, and people always get this wrong. The perfect example is The Office. They made the same mistake several times on The Office in terms of in-office relationships. There's no Sam and Diane. It worked because they were completely wrong for each other. They should not be together. They should not be together. But The Office, Jim and Pam, they obviously should be together. Michael and that other lady, who's basically female Michael, yeah, they should obviously be together. You know, like it's like why? So keeping them apart is just ridiculous. But with Cheers, it's the exact opposite. It's almost like people watching the show are like, nah, they should really stay apart. But there's something there. There's a chemistry there. There's that attraction there. So that's what made it interesting. Because everyone knows it's a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
But you're rooting for it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do, but I don't see them doing anything like that here. So, but again, it's one issue, you know, what the hell, it's one thing, who knows?
Yeah, it certainly had potential. I could see this being a good series, you know, at least for a couple issues. I could see there being some real potential here.
I think the limited bursts, the 4-issue, 3-4, that's probably the right way to go about it, right? Because this, you don't want to overstay your welcome.
You can't support an ongoing like this. I don't think. I don't think that would ever work.
But I did like the main characters here we're dealing with. I thought McDuffie did a pretty good job overall. Again, I don't understand the Spider-Man thing in the mouth. That could have been clarified a bit, why he couldn't just get out. He climbed in. Why can't he climb out? I don't know.
The Thunderball thing was weird.
Yeah, that is weird. He should have explained that better. Or why not have a hero there who was looking for something?
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. Yep. He's just kind of friends with Thunderball, I guess. It's odd.
But I did appreciate Ernie Cologne's work here. So, you know what? I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. That's fair.
Basically for the secretary. She gets it, because I was thinking 5 as well, but you know, we'll bump it up for Anne, the secretary. And again, name your characters different names. Don't go Anne and Anne. That's not good. Don't do that.
You think he was just like blinded by Ann Nocenti at the time, and that was all
maybe they're doing a joke on Ann Nocenti. But at some point, the editor has to step in and say, "All right, let's have 2 characters with different names."
Yeah, just drop the Ann and call her Marie. Marie Hogue.
Marie Hogue. That's all you got to do.
Right there. Yep.
All right, and hey, Tyne Daly's getting work out of it, so that's the important thing.
Yeah. She doesn't have to blow anybody else up.
Tyne Daly. All right, Jank, that's Damage Control. Next week, it's your pick.
Oh, no, I forgot. No, I didn't. Because I'm a professional.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to stick with Marvel next week. We're going to do a character that's not my favorite. I'm sure not your favorite either, but, you know, we got to cover him anyway. We're going to do Hercules.
Oh, Hercules. This will be interesting.
Yeah. Hercules. I'm sure it's on your mind after watching that Thor movie that I'll never watch.
Yeah, I did watch Thor God Thunder, and yeah, we do get a Hercules thing at the end. I forgot to talk about the Hercules cameo on the LCS show. But also, you were not aware of this probably, but Hercules was sentenced to do community service work with Damage Control at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
So I guess he was helping him move
corporate
around.
Synergy.
Exactly. I like when one pick leads into the next. So here we go. All right, what Hercules are we doing?
So we're going to do, there was, I guess, 2 different 4-issue limited series in the early 80s. One in 1982, one in 1984. So we're going to do the 1982 one, issue number 4.
Issue 4, Hercules, 1982.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you happen to know who the creators are on this?
I think both of them were written and drawn by Bob Layton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've had to have done Bob Layton on here. Right?
I would think. Sure, he must come up at some point. Maybe Iron Man? If you did one of those on there?
Probably. All right, so Hercules, number 4, 1982. I used to like Hercules on Marvel Avengers Alliance. He's pretty good on there. They don't have him on Marvel Snap yet.
Really?
Yeah. Not there.
There's some major characters they just haven't got to. Although they haven't been on Marvel Puzzle Quest either. So no one cares about Hercules apparently.
Since last week, I got Black Bolt, Maximus, his brother, right? That's his brother, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You got a whole Inhumans thing going.
Yeah, and then I think I got someone else too, right? I can't remember though. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, that's your Marvel Snap update. All right, so next week, Hercules.
So you get a new character 1 out of every 4 things, so you've been getting a lot of pulls apparently.
On average, 1 out of every 48 levels. You'll get
Holy hell.
Yeah. So, all right, next week, Hercules, issue 4 from 1982. And until then, don't get any jank on you.